Hello, I'm Sue Atkins and I'm the author of Parenting Made Easy, How to Raise Happy Children. I'm also the author of a very brand new journal called the Can Do Kids Journal, Discover Your Superpower, Your Confidence Superpower. I'm passionate about parenting and raising happy, confident, resilient children who have a can-do attitude to life. Because I think it's really important, because it means you will do well in life, you won't settle for a job you don't like, you won't settle for a relationship that isn't particularly healthy, you'll have a go, you'll try. And the reason that I wrote this book actually was I remember being at Kidzania one time and I watched a little boy watching everyone climb up and do some extraordinary things about abseiling down, and you could tell that he really wanted to try and really have a go, but he didn't have the confidence. So underpinning all the work that I do, all the writing, all the speaking, all the broadcasting, as you know, you've probably seen me as Disney Junior UK's parenting expert, or seen me on the sofa with Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby, or often with Eamon and Ruth actually on a Friday. I am a parenting expert for the BBC, for ITV, for Sky, for all sorts of things. And I write, broadcast and speak all around positive parenting. So I thought this was a wonderful opportunity to get involved and to talk to you about how you can give your children the gift of self-esteem. And I've got some fun, hopefully, some practical ideas for you as parents, and also some stuff to do maybe with your children. Because I believe self-confidence and self-belief comes from you. So if you are confident, if you are, resilient, if you speak positively about the world, and if you encourage your children and you notice what they get right, not what they always get wrong, then you can encourage a positive child, which is wonderful, and a child that will have a go. Because the other thing you need to do, I think, is to model making mistakes. It's the only way that we learn. You think of a toddler. When they start to walk, they're unsure, they get up, they fall down. They don't just stay down and go, oh, I'm not a walker. They get back up, they have another go, they plop down, they have another go. And eventually, through practice, they get very good at walking, like us all. So that is a symbol really for me, or a metaphor for me, about resilience and the can-do attitude to life. You just keep getting back up, you show persistence, you show tenacity, and then you can achieve anything that you want, or see anything you want, or do anything you want if you keep at it. So I think your job is almost like a gardener. You have to water your child's self-confidence, their belief in themselves. And I talk about being a bucket filler, not a bucket dipper. Now this is quite an old bucket. I used to be a deputy head and class teacher for over 20 years. And when I used to go into schools, this is from a long time ago, I talked about filling up a bucket. We all have an imaginary bucket. And I used to have 30 of these all on the side with all the names of the children on. And when they said something nice, or they were encouraging, or they were kind, or they were respectful, the children could put a sequin in it. And so it became bucket filling. And if you do the opposite, if you go out on the playground, or you speak to your brother or sister at home without being kind, then you could be called a bucket dipper, which is not a great thing that you want to really do either. So bucket filler, bucket dipper. So it's a great idea, always thinking about each day as a parent, how can you fill your child's bucket? So full of self-esteem, not arrogance, confidence, to have a go in life. So you notice what they get right, you encourage their positivity, the things that they are struggling with, perhaps you let them struggle for a few more minutes sometimes, so they build a sense of capability, a sense of competence. Because children need 4 things, in my opinion. I call them the 4 C's. They need a sense of connection to you, to each other, to your family, to their school, to the community, to the world at large. So when you feel connected, you feel understood, you feel safe, you feel secure. They need to feel a sense of capability, feeling capable and competent. That's what all those temper tantrums are about when they're toddlers. They're struggling to be independent. So don't rob them of the opportunity to feel independent. Let them try and put on their seatbelt themselves. think about, you know, slightly older toddlers, that they can help lay the table. Older children, you know, they can make their own bed, they can bring down their own laundry. Teenagers are very good at technical, so I'm sure they could learn to use the washing machine or learn to cook a bowl of chili or something like that. So look for ways to help your kids, no matter what age they are, to feel capable and competent. Don't rush in to rescue them. That damages their self-esteem, and in fact they think, oh, you kind of got a sign up that says, oh, I've got a vote of no confidence in you. I don't think you can do it. So in the end, they just go, oh, I'm demotivated. I won't even try. The other one is that kids need to feel that they count, that they matter, that they're significant, not only to you, but to the world at large. So look for ways to give them your time, your attention, and to help them feel that they're important in the world. And one of the activities in my Can Do Kid Journal here is actually around, this activity is a lovely one. You get, it's in the book, but I've got it as postcards because I do confident classes for kids in schools and stuff. It says, please tell me 3 things that you love, respect, admire about me. So 3 things that you love, respect and admire about me. Now they go off and they have to ask grandma or dad or their brother or their sister or their auntie or whoever they want, their teacher even, to write down what they love, respect and admire. And they come back, and sometimes we send these out, you know, actually with a post stamp on it, so that children love to receive things. Gone are the days when you get lots of mail when you're young. It's all email and stuff, isn't it? But this builds up a child's sense of confidence, their self-esteem. You watch them blossom, you watch them bloom, and you watch them grow. Because this is not sort of conversational stuff that we have, do we? We nag a lot. We're always telling them how to hold their knife and fork and eat their broccoli, and we don't talk to them about why they're special, why they're unique. So this is a wonderful exercise because it broadens out who's telling them that they're, and it's genuine and it's sincere and it's heartfelt. I remember doing a workshop once, and a teenage, well, just starting to be a teenager, he was sort of 12. His dad came and his mum and his family came to see me, and his dad turned to him and had to tell him what he loved, respected and admired about his son. It was so moving, honestly. There were tissues everywhere because that's not the sort of thing that you often talk about. So that's a lovely thing. And the other crucial C is feeling that you have courage. Courage to fail. We all find it difficult at times. It's a muscle, isn't it, having courage and having confidence. You don't just give it. If I could give the gift of confidence, that would be the end of it, and you'd have it for the rest of your life. We're always trying to find out where we are with our confidence, and if you're going to learn something new, you wobble a bit, but a can-do kid has a go. They make mistakes, they get back up, as I told you about the toddler, and they feel that they have courage to make mistakes, courage to try, courage to have another go. So I hope those crucial C's are helpful to you. If you're interested in that, I have a blog that I've written all around the crucial C's. I call it the blueprint for raising happy, confident, resilient children. So do check that out on my website, which is thesueatkins.com. Now, let's have a look at some of the other activities. Perhaps for you, I think this one is quite a good one, because this means you don't damage your child's self-esteem because you're a conscious parent. You're doing it because you're thinking about your parenting. You know, we're in lockdown. It is very challenging for a lot of families. Of course it is. Children, you know, you're trying to homeschool. Please don't be a perfect teacher. You be a perfect parent if you can. No such thing. But do your best, and that is good enough. This is an unusual time. Don't beat yourself up around being a fantastic homeschooler. Don't feel you have to cook extraordinarily marvellous meals all the time either, or keep an immaculate house. Cut yourself some slack. Relax. Get some me time so that you are in a good place. You're rested, you're replenished, you're relaxed, and then you can be a positive parent. Take good care of yourself first, like an oxygen mask coming down on your, you know, in an aeroplane, if we ever go on those again, to look after yourself first, so then you can look after the child and your children. So that's important, that you get me time. That replenishes your energy. But anyway, back to this. This is an imaginary remote control in your head, but I've shown you that so that you'll remember it. And when anything's kicking off or going wrong, you can press your imaginary pause button Take a physical step back so that you are detached from the situation just for a split second, and then ask yourself, what do I need to do now? Or what do I need to say now to make sure that, I don't know, the bathroom is tidied up, the wet towel is put on the side, or whatever you need the children to do. But by pressing your pause button, taking a physical step back, it stops you reacting in anger sometimes and saying things that you regret, or shouting or nagging, because after a while it just goes over children's heads like the red arrows, doesn't it? They just switch off and they don't listen and they don't hear you. So this pause button technique is a really, really helpful one, because I think it brings you closer to the relationship that you want to develop with your child, rather than bringing you further away. So it's very important that I think you use the pause button. It really does work. It's a great idea once you get the habit of it. And that physical step back as well just detaches you, and then you can have a think about what you're going to do, what you're going to say, how you're going to react. Because don't forget, you always have a choice in how you react and in what you say. And in anger, and when we're tired and we're running on empty, as I call it, we sometimes say things that we don't mean, or we certainly don't mean long term, but they do stay in a child's memory, and it can damage the relationship or damage their self-esteem and their confidence and their ability to have a go and have a try. So this is all around techniques for me that help a child feel that they could try and have another go. So let's have a look at the Camcorder Technique for you. So this is a technique I made up. It's a bit like Big Brother, but that's long gone now, I think. But it's when parents come and work with me, I often say, I want you to imagine you have a camcorder on your shoulder for this week. It's not noticing the kids, it's noticing what you do, what you say, and how you say it. No finger pointing, no judgment, that's not my job, I don't like that, no tut-tutting. This is about becoming aware of what you're doing that's working, and looking at what you're doing that isn't working and that isn't really nurturing a child's confidence. So camcorder goes on your shoulder. You can jot it down at night. One of the things I also do is get parents to write in sort of a journal or a diary last thing at night, because that means you fall asleep positively. You only write down what's gone well that day, and they can be very small things. Life is not always about the big stuff. It is about the detail. So you write down in your journal last thing at night, this went really well with Jemima today, this went really well with Josh, this went really well with Rishi, I held my temper, I did that, I smiled, I changed my line of thought, whatever it is you want to write down. Because over a week, you go back and look at that. You can number the things then. What was your number one favourite thing that you did? That's going to build your confidence. That's going to build your positivity. That's going to really, really be a great positive thing for you, so that you're in a good place to start the next day. And it's a what I call a virtuous positive circle, which is fantastic. So that is the Camcorder Technique. No finger pointing, no judgment, just observing what you say, how you say it. Notice your tone of voice. You can always say, oh, what's the matter with you? Or, what's the matter with you? Two different meanings, same words. So be mindful of how you say things. Certainly with children in the teenage years, you can build these bridges, you can build these walls between you. You really should be trying to build bridges between you and your children all the time, of communication and nurturing and confidence and love and unconditional love. So the Camcorder Technique then is observing how you say it, what you say, your tone of voice, your body language. We speak volumes. Apparently it's all on my face. If I'm annoyed or upset or hacked off, apparently I don't hide it terribly well. Very transparent, it's all in my face. And yet my husband will say, and you're all right? Okay, oh yes, fine. But actually it's not really fine. So make sure that your tone of voice, your body language is positive, encouraging and open for your children, and look for what they get right. And I think the Camcorder Technique might help you. The other thing is the toothbrush technique. This is one for your kids. It's in here in my journal. Oh look, there's be a bucket filler, not a bucket dipper. Yes, the toothbrush technique is a great one. because it sets you up in the morning. And I think how kids set themselves up in the morning is really important. Here comes my son. He's just coming into work. By all means, come in. There we go. This is how it is when you work from home, isn't it? So this is then setting up your child's morning. So they brush their teeth in the morning and they say to themselves, I am special because. And that sets them up to look at what they're good at. Now, this is not I'm really good at maths. This can be, well, it could be I'm really good at fractions or times table. I'm a good friend. I'm a great brother. I stick at things till I finish them. I'm great at painting. I'm great at gardening. I'm good at looking for mini beasts. Whatever it is, it's a celebration of what they're good at. Now, the more often they do it, they have to dig a bit deeper. It's easy, isn't it, the first few times? So I'm good at this, I'm good at that. But as you do it more regularly, it becomes a habit and it sets up the day nicely for being positive. And you watch your children's sort of shoulders go back and they bloom and they blossom from that. Then last thing at night, because I link it to toothbrushing, because then you'll remember to do it. It's what we do every day, isn't it? Then you look at what you're grateful for. There's been loads of studies to show that people and children who are grateful and have an attitude of gratitude, as I call it in the book, feel better. They feel stronger, they feel more optimistic, they feel more hopeful. So you're very grateful. So again, you start off by doing simple things. I'm grateful for my home, my family, hot water. I'm grateful for my eyesight. I'm grateful that I had such a laugh today in the garden with the dog. It doesn't matter what it is, but it gets the child into a habit, and you can do it too, of being grateful. In fact, I do it first thing in the morning. It sets my day up as well. But I link it to the toothbrushing thing. You can choose which way round you do it. But I think it becomes a habit, and it's a very positive parenting kind of habit. Right, so coming to the end of my time, actually, so I just thought I'd introduce you to my easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm a great believer in rewarding and noticing what kids get right. And this is a fun thing that I developed when I was teaching all those years ago, when kids just come up and they do something right, and it used to be in schools, but at home they've eaten their broccoli, tidied their bedroom or put their toys away, and you go, that was easy peasy lemon squeezy. And of course they laugh, they think it's hugely funny, and you can say, oh, you've brushed your teeth. That was easy peasy lemon squeezy. Or you've got your pyjamas on ready for bed. That was easy peasy lemon squeezy. Oh, you've done that homework you were supposed to do. That was easy peasy lemon squeezy. So it's a fun, silly thing. Children love it. You can record your own voice on it if you want it. You can buy it off my website. It's on my shop. But children seem to love it. It makes it fun. It makes it simple. I actually devised it when I found online banking. Now we're going back a bit, aren't we? Found online banking rather tricky. And when I got the hang of it, I remember pressing, that was easy peasy lemon squeezy, my easy button. And it made me laugh, made me relax, and it actually anchored in what you call in NLP, if you're interested in NLP things, it anchors in positivity. It goes in that, oh yes, it is easy, and yes, I can do that. So there are all my little tips in this very short time that I have with you. Please come over and join me on Sue Atkins on Twitter. Please join my parenting club. I have over 500 videos from babies to toddlers to children to friendship issues to teenagers. You name it, I've tried to cover it. If I haven't, you can always send me an email because I do a podcast, and you can ask me questions on my podcast, which is the Sue Atkins .com. You can find it there. Come and join me on my Facebook group, which is Don't Stew, Ask Sue Atkins, or you can go onto my page, which is Sue Atkins, the Parenting Expert. Join me on my Facebook Lives at 11 o'clock on Mondays. Join me on my Instagram Lives on Wednesdays at 11. Until we meet, take good care, stay safe, and thank you for joining me.